Basically, those are a neural architecture which incorporates an attention mechanism that when you give it some kind of human-like input, so in a natural language, it can calculate which words are really important, which are not, and based on that really try to predict, okay, this is the content that needs to be generated based on that kind of input. So I'm Emanuel, I'm a principal engineer at Infobip. My background is both in engineering and science, so I've done many years did scientific research and information retrieval, which is one part, I would say, of a subset of AI, specifically online content personalization. But in the last year, while I joined Infobip, the main focus was more on generative AI, especially large language models, and applying those in an industry setting. Large language models would be, if you would draw a parallel, the same thing as an autocomplete function in your IDE. But what basically their main purpose is to generate text, predict basically the next word given some previous sentence. And the reason why they can do it, because these are highly, I would say really recently, highly sophisticated models which are trained on a lot of data. So basically, just based on the amount of data they have been trained, they are trying to calculate the probability and really to predict what's the next word. For senior developers, large language models are basically a subset of, are the result of Gen AI, which is a subset of deep learning and machine learning, which focuses on building AI models, especially on neural architectures, which can learn the distribution of the data which it was trained in order to predict the next word or token. One example is, like GPT 3.5. GPT-4. So these are based on a neural architecture called transformers. This comes from 2017. And basically those are a neural architecture which incorporates an attention mechanism that when you give it some kind of human-like input, so in a natural language, it can calculate which words are really important, which are not, and based on that really try to predict, okay, this is the content that needs to be generated based on that kind of input. I would say the most important thing for us from a CTO perspective is, okay, so large language models have a lot of application and different use cases. They can be used to enhance search functionality, to generate completely new content, help with writing. So there are many different use cases how to improve productivity or even like in your own, let's say, software solution, offer new features. One of the things that they had to be aware the costs of either building those models by themselves or if you want to deploy them from the hardware perspective, or even like by using commercially available APIs, the amount of requests will probably then also increase the cost. So there is always a benefit, or let's say there is always a trade-off between how much impact those kind of models can help you in your own business versus also the cost they are basically causing. Drop me a follow on Twitter. You can also connect with me over LinkedIn. There I'm active, but just if you have any questions, just write me. I'll usually respond.
Thank you for watching our video. If you want to learn more about Engineer Explains, click on one of these.